would you do if someone just showed up out of the blue, said they were the doctor, and then started talking about saving the universe? I mean, let's be real. Most of us would go, Doctor Who? And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Welcome to Cthulhu, I'm Manasvi, and today's story is all about Doctor Who. So here's the thing, this is a show I first got into back in high school because a friend of mine wouldn't stop raving about it. I didn't get the hype at first, but once I started watching it, I was hooked. Fast forward to now, I decided to rewatch it, and just as I was binging, I kept thinking, wow, this would be so fun to talk about. And now here we are. If you're new to Doctor Who, let me give you a quick rundown. It's this iconic British sci-fi show that started all the way back in like 1963. It had a great run, took a break after about 8 Doctors, and then made a huge comeback in 2005 with Doctor number 9. I'm numbering the Doctors for a reason. Trust me, it'll make sense later. But for now, I want you to sit back, enjoy the ride, and meet Doctor number 9 the way I did. So grab your tea or your snacks, I won't judge, and let's dive into some timey-wimey adventures. It's just another day in South London. The alarm blares at 7:30 a.m. and a hand reaches out to turn it off. Meet Rose. She's a young woman living at home with her mom and working at Hendrick's department store. Her life is pretty routine. Every morning she gets up, gets ready, kisses her mom goodbye, and takes the bus to work. And once she's there, it's hours of moving clothes around in the women's wear section. The highlight of her day is probably grabbing lunch with her boyfriend Mickey, and honestly, you can just tell that she's over it. She wants more, something bigger than this dull 9-to-5 grind. And today, well, it starts off like every other day. She moves the clothes, has lunch with Mickey, and heads back to work. But as she's leaving for the night, the security guard waves a plastic bag in her face. Rose grabs it and heads down to the basement, calling out, "Wilson! Wilson, I've got the lottery money. Wilson, are you there?" I can't actually do a British accent, so just pretend that I sound British. She makes her way into his office, which is odd to say the least. There's this huge danger of electric shock sign on the door and another board that reads Office of H.P. Wilson, CEO. She knocks, but there's no response. "I can't hang about because they're closing the shop. Wilson, oh come on." And then she hears it, a clatter behind her. Now, in classic horror movie style, instead of bolting, Rose starts walking towards the noise. She finds herself in a massive storage room filled with boxes and mannequins, rows and rows of mannequins, dressed, lifeless, and just standing there. Still looking for Wilson, Rose keeps heading further into the storage room, and it's quiet, too quiet. As she reaches for a door marked authorized personnel only, the entrance to the storage room slams shut behind her. She panics, and honestly, who wouldn't? Running back to the entrance, she tugs at the door, but it's locked. It's not budging no matter how hard she pulls. And then she hears it again. More noises coming from deeper in the room. Trying to keep it together, she puts on a brave face and starts yelling, "Is someone mucking about? Who is it?" She walks further into the rooms, her nerves probably shot, when she hears a grinding sound behind her. Spinning around, she sees it. A mannequin. And it's not just standing there, it's moving, slowly walking closer to her. I don't know about you guys, but if this were me, I'd already be done. I can barely deal with dolls or stuffed animals staring at me from across the room, let alone one that's walking. Anyway, back to Rose and the plastic nightmare. She freezes, staring in disbelief as more and more mannequins start to follow the first one. "Yeah, you got me. Very funny. Right, I've got the joke. Whose idea was it? Is it Derek's? Is it? Derek, is that you?" But this isn't some prank, and she knows it when her back hits the wall. The mannequins are closing in, and one of them raises its arm ready to strike. Rose throws her hands up to shield her face, expecting the worst. And then, out of nowhere, someone grabs her hand. Run. No time for explanations. He takes off, pulling Rose along with him. They're sprinting through the basement, dodging mannequins left and right until they finally make it to an elevator. Just as the doors start to close, a plastic arm shoots through the gap. The strange man doesn't even flinch. He grabs the arm and starts pulling, tugging at it until it finally pops off. He stares at the arm like it's the coolest thing he's ever seen, but Rose is done. "You pulled his arm off." "Yep. Plastic." Before Rose can process that, he tosses the plastic arm at her. She catches it, looking both annoyed and confused. "Very clever. Nice trick. Who are they then? Students? Is this a student thing or what?" Why would they be students? Because to get that many people dressed up and being silly, they have to be students. That Makes sense. Well done. They're not students. Whoever they are, Wilson will find them and then call the police. Who's Wilson? Chief electrician? Oh, Wilson's dead. The elevator dings and the man casually steps out like he didn't just drop that bombshell. Rose hurries after him. That's just not funny. That's sick. He stops, pushing Rose gently to the side. Watch your eyes. He then turns to the elevator control panel, pulls out what looks like a screwdriver but definitely isn't, and points it at the buttons. A blue light glows at the tip as the board sparks and bursts into flames. Rose just stands there staring. He starts walking off again and Rose, understandably, loses it. Who are you then? Who's that lot down there? I said, who are they? He finally answers, still moving like he's got somewhere very important to be. They're made of plastic, living plastic creatures. They're being controlled by a relay device in the roof, which would be a great big problem if I didn't have this with me. He pulls out a small bomb like it's no big deal, holding it up for her to see. So I'm gonna go up there and blow them up, and I might well die in the process, but don't worry about me. No, you go home. Go on and have your lovely beans on toast. Don't tell anyone about this, because if you do, you'll get them killed. And just like that, he pushes Rose through the door that leads outside and then shuts it behind her. Rose stands there completely speechless. Then the door opens again and he peeks out. I'm the doctor, by the way. What's your name? Rose? Well, nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life. And with that, she's off, sprinting out of the building like her life depends on it. And it kind of does. She barely avoids getting hit by a car making it across the street. And just as she catches her breath, boom, the building explodes, and that's when it hits her. The doctor wasn't kidding. Shaken, Rose runs home, and on her way, she passes this old, out-of-place police telephone box tucked away into an alley. But hey, she's had a day, and who's got time to notice random stuff like that? At home, she collapses onto the couch. She's still in shock. Meanwhile, her mom Jackie's on the phone giving a dramatic play-by-play to someone. Her boyfriend Mickey bursts into the apartment totally panicked. I've been phoning your mobile. You could have been dead. It's on the news and everywhere. I can't believe that your shop went up. I'm all right. Honestly, I'm fine. Don't make a fuss. Well, what happened? I don't know. I wasn't in the shop. I was outside. I didn't see anything. Jackie comes over, phone still in hand. It's Debbie on the line. She knows a man at the Mirror, 500 quid for an interview. Oh, brilliant, Mum. Give it here. Rose grabs the phone and hangs up, leaving Jackie looking completely stunned. Well, you've got to find some way of making money. Your job's kaput and I'm not bailing you out again. The phone rings again and Jackie's back at it, chatting to someone new about suing for compensation. Meanwhile, Mickey is trying to cheer up Rose the only way he knows how. You know what? You need a drink of something stronger, something to get your mind off of all that trauma. But Rose knows him too well. There's a match on, isn't there? That's not the point, Rose, but we could catch the last 5 minutes. Go on then, I'm fine, really. Go and get rid of that while you're at it. She's pointing at the mannequin arm that the doctor handed her earlier. Yeah, for some reason she carried it home. Mickey picks it up and in true Mickey fashion, he pretends that it's choking him before saying goodbye. Once he's outside, he tosses it into a dumpster and heads off. The next morning at exactly 7:30 a.m., Rose's alarm rings again, but this time her mom's ready to throw a wrench in her usual morning routine. There's no point in getting up, sweetheart. You've got no job to go to. Rose flops back onto her bed, staring at the ceiling and contemplating life, but after a moment, she drags herself up and heads to the breakfast table. There's Finch's. You could always try them. They've always got jobs. Oh, great. The butcher's, Mum. Well, it might do you good. The shop was giving you airs and graces, and I'm not joking about compensation. You've had genuine shock and trauma. Ariana got 2,000 quid off the council just because the old man behind the desk said she looked Greek. I know she is Greek, but that's not the point. It was a valid claim. Their conversation is cut off by a strange noise near the front door. Rose looks up skeptical. Mom, you're such a liar. I told you to nail that cat flap down. We're gonna get strays. I did it weeks back. No, you thought about it. Rose kneels down to check the cat flap. The screws are loose, and as she's inspecting it, the flap suddenly moves. A face pops through. It's the doctor. She quickly opens the door, and he looks just as surprised to see her as she is to see him. What are you doing here? I live here. Well, what do you do that for? Because I do, and I'm only at home because someone blew up my job. The doctor pulls out his strange screwdriver and points it directly at Rose's head. I must have gotten the wrong signal. You're not plastic, are you? No, bonehead. Bye then. And he starts walking away, but Rose isn't letting him off that easily this time. She grabs his arm and yanks him inside. And from her room, Jackie, who's busy doing her makeup, yells out, "Who is it? It's about last night. He's part of the inquiry. Give us 10 minutes. She deserves compensation." The doctor, meanwhile, wanders into Jackie's room, looking around like he's in some sort of museum. "Oh, we're talking millions, ma'am. I'm in my dressing gown." "Yes, you are." "There's a strange man in my room." "Yes, there is." "Anything can happen." "No." The doctor follows Rose into the kitchen where she's making him some coffee while talking about the police. "We should go to the police, seriously, both of us." The doctor picks up a piece of paper, clearly not listening to Rose. That won't last. He's gay and she's an alien. I'm not blaming you, even if it was just some sort of joke that went completely wrong." The doctor, again, not really paying attention. Instead, he heads to the living room and picks up a copy of Heat and flips through it. Sad ending. They said on the news that they found a body. He picks up another piece of paper and pauses, looking at it. Rose Tyler. He catches a glimpse of himself in the mirror, and staring at his reflection, he starts messing with his ears. Could have been worse. Look at the ears. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Rose is going on and on about the explosion. All the same, he was a nice bloke. Anyway, if we're going to go to the police, I just want to know what I'm saying. I want you to explain everything. The doctor picks up a deck of cards and, attempts to do that magician's trick where they transfer, cards from one hand to another, but he completely fails and the cards go all over the place. And just then, a rattling comes from the living room. "What's that then? You've got a cat?" "No." The doctor, now curious, moves towards the noise and looks behind this couch. But before he can react, a plastic mannequin hand shoots out and grabs him by the throat. He struggles, gasping for air as Rose continues making coffee, totally unbothered because her back is turned. "We did have, but now they're just strays. They come in and off the estate." She finally looks up and sees the doctor struggling with the plastic hand, face turning red, and she's not impressed. "I told Mickey to chuck that out. You're all the same. Give a man a plastic hand. Anyway, I don't even know your name. Doctor, was it?" The doctor manages to fling the hand off of his neck, but it stops midair, turns around, and grabs Rose's face. The doctor leaps into action, trying to help her. They roll around on the floor in a chaotic struggle, eventually breaking a coffee table in the process. And finally, the doctor pulls out his screwdriver, points it at the arm, and disables it with a quick zap. He tosses it back to Rose. "It's all right. I've stopped it. There you go. You see? Armless. Do you think?" She picks up the arm and gives him a good whack with it, and the next thing she knows, she's following the doctor down the stairs of her apartment. "Hold on a minute, you can't just go swanning off." "Yes, I can. Here I am. This is me, swanning off. See ya." "But that arm was moving. It tried to kill me." 10 out of 10 for observation. "You can't just walk away. That's not fair. You've got to tell me what's going on." "No, I don't." "All right then, I'll go to the police. I'll tell everyone. You said if I did, I'd get people killed, so your choice. Tell me or I'll start talking." Is that supposed to sound tough? Sort of. Doesn't work. "Who are you?" "Told you, the doctor." "Yeah, but doctor what?" "Just the doctor." "The doctor. Is that supposed to sound impressive?" "Sort of, yeah." Rose huffs and tries a different approach. "Come on then, you can tell me. I've seen enough. Are you the police?" "No, I was just passing through. I'm a long way from home." "But what if I'd done wrong? How come those plastic things keep coming after me?" "Oh, suddenly the entire world revolves around you? You were an accident. You got in the way, that's all. It tried to kill me. It was after me, not you. Last night in the shop, I was there. You blundered in, almost ruined the whole thing. This morning I was tracking it down. It was tracking me down. The only reason it fixated on you was because you were next to me. So what you're saying is the entire world revolves around you." "Sort of, yeah." "You're so full of it." "Sort of, yeah." Rose folds her arms and stares him down. "But all this plastic stuff, who else knows about it?" "No one." "What? You're on your own?" "Well, I mean, who else is there? You lot, all you do is eat chips and go to bed and watch telly, while all the time underneath you there's a war going on." As they walk away from Rose's apartment, she snatches the plastic arm from the doctor's hand. "Okay, start from the beginning. I mean, if we're going to do this whole living plastic thing, which I don't even believe, but if we do, how did you kill it?" "The thing controlling it projects life into the arm. I cut off the signal, dead. So it's like radio control? More like thought control." "Are you all right?" "Yeah, so what's controlling it then?" "Long story. But what's the end game? I mean, shop window dummies? What's that about? Is someone trying to take over all of Britain's shops?" No, it's not a price war. They want to overthrow the human race, destroy you. Do you believe me? No, but you're still listening. Really, though, Doctor, tell me, who are you? The doctor slows down and looks right at her. You know, when we were talking about the earth revolving, it's like when you were a kid. They tell you the world's turning, but you don't quite believe it because everything looks still, but I can feel it. He takes her arm. The turn of the earth, the ground underneath us is spinning 1,000 miles per hour, and this whole planet's hurtling around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. I can feel it. We're falling through space, Rose. You and me clinging to this tiny little world. And if we let go, he lets go of her arm. That's who I am. Now forget me, Rose Tyler. Go home. He picks up the plastic arm and heads towards the old police telephone box. Rose stands still, staring after him before turning and heading back to her place. But just as she turns the corner, she feels a rush of air and hears a strange noise. She turns back, running towards where the doctor should be, but he's gone, and so is the police box. Rose heads over to Mickey's place, still buzzing with questions about the strange man who keeps popping into her life. And while Mickey's in the kitchen making coffee, she plops herself down at his computer. Right, let's figure out who you are, Doctor whatever your name is. She types doctor into the search bar and stares at 17,700,000 results. Next, she tries Doctor Living Plastic, gets 55,000 results, better, but still a lot of nonsense. Finally, she types Doctor Blue Box, and the first result catches her eye. It's a hilariously old school webpage, big clunky fonts and a flashing banner that says, Doctor Who, have you seen this man? Contact Clive. And below is this grainy photo of the doctor's face. Quick sidebar if you're new to Doctor Who, this episode came out in 2005, so all the websites look like they were made with Windows XP and some trial and error HTML. Peak early internet vibes. Anyway, Rose convinces Mickey to drive her to meet this Clive guy in his little VW Beetle, and Mickey is not having it. You're not coming in? He's safe. He's got a wife and kids. Yeah, who told you that? He did. That's exactly what an internet psycho would say. Honestly, Mickey's spitting some facts. Rule number 1, don't meet up with strangers from the internet alone. Rose heads up to the house while Mickey stays behind the car looking like he's questioning all of his life decisions. And then one of Clive's neighbors exits while taking out the trash and he shoots Mickey this really dirty look. Rose rings the doorbell and a little boy answers. Hello, I've come to see Clive. We've been emailing. Dad, it's one of your nutters. Clive shows up looking like a wholesome family man. Oh, sorry. Hello. You must be Rose. I'm Clive, obviously. I better tell you now, my boyfriend's waiting in the car just in case you're gonna try and kill me. Rose motions to Mickey's car. Mickey gives a tough look and lowers his windows. Clive, though, just laughs it off. No, good point. No murders. Clive's wife, clearly curious, shouts from upstairs, Who is it? Oh, it's something to do with the doctor. She's been reading the website. Please, come on through. I'm in the shed. She read a website about the doctor? She says she. Honestly, Clive's wife looks more fascinated that a woman's into this whole thing and shuts the door with this really cute smile on her face. But when Rose steps into Clive's shed, it's anything but cute. It's dark, cluttered, and packed with all kinds of weird, wild contraptions. A lot of this stuff's pretty expensive. Can't just send it to you. People might intercept it, if you know what I mean. If you dig deep enough and keep an open mind, this doctor shows up all over. Political diaries, conspiracy theories, even ghost stories. No first name, no last name. Just the doctor. Always the doctor. And that title seems to get passed down from father to son as an inheritance. He pauses, and Rose can't help but stare. Clive points to a photo. That's your doctor right there, right? I traced it to a Washington Public Archive just last year. The online photo's been enhanced, but if we look at the original, November 22nd, 1963, the assassination of President Kennedy, you see it? And the resemblance between the guy in the photo and the doctor Rose saw earlier is wild, but Rose holds out hope. Maybe it's his dad. Go back even further, April 1912. This is a photo of the Daniels family from Southampton and a friend. This was the day before they were supposed to board the Titanic, but for some strange reason, they canceled the trip and survived. And here, 1883, another doctor. And look, same lineage, identical. This guy washed up on the coast of Sumatra the same day the Karakota erupted. Clive lowers his voice and the room feels heavier. The doctor is a legend. He's been woven throughout history. Whenever disaster hits, he's there. He's the storm, and he's always had one constant companion. Who's that? Death. Outside, the neighbor's trash can is creeping closer to Mickey's car. Inside the shed, Clive's continuing with his warning. If the doctor is back and you've seen him, Rose, one thing's for sure. We're all in danger. Mickey notices the trash can creeping closer to his car. He sighs, gets out, and walks over to check it out. He lifts the lid, but it's empty. Shrugging, he shuts the lid, but as he tries to walk away, the plastic seems to grab onto him, refusing to let go. Clive's voice echoes from the shed, sounding grim. If he singled you out, if the doctor is making house calls, then God help you. Mickey pulls at the plastic, struggling. Suddenly the bin growls, stretches, and then snaps. It flexes violently before whipping Mickey inside, and then it lets out this weird burpy sound. Rose hurries back to the car, still trying to process everything that Clive has said. She gets into the car, but fails to notice that something is off about Mickey. He's covered in this plastic-like sheen. His grin is too wide, his skin is too shiny. But Rose is too stuck on our thoughts. Okay, he's a complete nutter, complete conspiracy freak. You win. But what's the plan for tonight? I'm in the mood for pizza. Pizza! Pizza! Or Chinese. Pizza! Mickey, or the plastic version of Mickey, starts driving in these weird zigzag patterns down the road. Rose still doesn't get the hint, too distracted by her own thoughts. Do you think I should try the hospital? Suki said that they had a job going in the canteen. I could dish out chips or something. I don't know. Maybe I should do my A-levels. Then again, it's all Jimmy Stone's fault. I only left school because of him. Look where he ended up. What do you think? So, where did you meet the doctor? Sorry, wasn't I talking about me for a second? Because I'm thinking it all started back at the shop, right? Was he involved in that? What was he doing there? Mickey, seriously, I'm not going on about this. I know it sounds insane, but I don't think he's safe. I think he's dangerous. But you can trust me, sweetheart. Babe, sugar, babe, you can tell me anything. Tell me about the doctor. What's he planning? And I'll help you. That's all I want to do, sweetheart. Babe, sugar, sweetheart. What are you doing? Before Rose can get an answer, a waiter steps between them with a bottle of champagne, completely blocking Mickey's view. Without looking at the waiter, Mickey waves him off. We didn't order any champagne. Where's the doctor, Rose? Ma'am, your champagne? Rose, still not looking at him, does the same exact thing. She waves him off. It's not ours. Mickey, what is it? What's wrong? I need to know how much you know, so where is he? Doesn't anyone want this champagne? Look, we didn't order it. And then Mickey's eyes go wide. He looks up and finally sees who the waiter is. It's the doctor. Plastic Mickey's face lights up in this weird stiff way because, he's plastic. Meanwhile, the doctor just casually starts shaking the champagne bottle. Don't mind me, just toasting the happy couple on the house. The doctor pops the cork off and it flies right into Plastic Mickey's forehead. The cork gets absorbed into his head and a few seconds later he spits it out through his mouth. And that's when things take a turn. Plastic Mickey's arm morphs into this chopper and he lunges at Rose and the doctor, but the doctor is ready. He grabs Mickey's head and pops it right off. But surprise, Plastic Mickey is not done. Without a head, he's still up and moving, flailing around like a headless chicken. Rose, in panic mode, hits the fire alarm and starts directing everyone to get out of the pizza place while she and the doctor dart into the kitchen with the headless body hot on their heels. They blast out through the back exit. The doctor slams the door shut, but Rose's escape route is blocked by gates at the end of the alleyway. Open the gate. Use that tube thingy. Come on. Sonic screwdriver. Yeah, whatever. Use it. Nah, I'll tell you what, let's go in there. And he points at this old, slightly dodgy police telephone box. The doctor casually unlocks the door and steps inside. Meanwhile, Plastic Mickey's body is hammering on the metal door, leaving bigger and bigger dents. You can't hide in a wooden box. It's gonna get us, doctor. But Rose's options are running out and she rushes inside the box. Then she stops dead, takes a look around, and immediately runs back out. She circles the box, still confused, but as the headless body crashes through the door, she darts back inside. It's going to follow us! The assembled hordes of Genghis Khan couldn't get through that door, and trust me, they've tried. Now shut up a minute. And that's when we finally get a glimpse of the inside. It's bigger, way bigger. The space inside is an open plan with a weird futuristic console in the middle. The walls curve like a dome and are decorated with brass-colored hexagons. But the most mind-boggling part, it's way bigger inside than it looks on the outside. While Rose is processing this, the doctor gets down to business. You see, the arm was too basic, but the head, perfect. I can use it to trace the signal back to the source. Right, where do you want to start? The inside is bigger than the outside. Yes, it's alien. Yeah. Are you alien? Yes. Is that all right? I guess. It's called the TARDIS, this thing, TARDIS. That stands for Time and Relative Dimension in Space. Rose suddenly bursts into tears, and the doctor doesn't even flinch, staying as cool as always. That's okay, culture shock. Happens to the best of us. Did they kill him? Mickey? Did they kill Mickey? Is he dead? Oh, I didn't think about that. He's my boyfriend. You ripped off his head. They copied him and you didn't even think about it. Now you're just gonna let him melt? Melt? The doctor turns and notices the plastic head he set on the console is indeed melting. Oh, no, 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 no! He quickly activates the TARDIS and Rose screams after him. What are you doing? Following the signal, it's fading. Wait, I've got it. No, almost there, here we go. The TARDIS lands with a thud and the doctor rushes to the door, but Rose grabs his arm before he can open it. You can't go out there, it's not safe. But the doctor's already outside, and when Rose follows, she is totally shocked. They're no longer in the alleyway. Instead, they're on a bridge overlooking a canal. Lost a signal. We've moved. Does it fly? Disappears here and reappears there. You wouldn't understand. Wait, if we're somewhere else, what about that headless thing? It's still out there. Melted with the head. Are you gonna complain all night? I have to tell his mom, Mickey's mom, I have to tell her that he's dead, and you just forgot about him again. You were right, you are an alien. Look, if I forgot about some kid named Mickey, it's because I'm trying to save every single person on this stupid planet, alright? If you really are an alien, then why do you sound like you're from the North? Well, lots of planets have a North. What's a police public call box? It's a telephone box from the 1950s. It's a disguise. Okay, and this plastic thing, what's it got against us? Nothing. It loves you. You've got such a great planet. Lots of smoke, oils, toxins, dioxides. It's perfect. Just what the Nestine consciousness needs. Its food stock was wiped out in the war. All the protein plants nodded. So Earth, dinner time. Any way to stop it? The doctor pulls out a tube filled with blue liquid. Anti-plastic. But first, I've got to find it. How do you hide something that big in a city this small? Hold on. Hide what? The doctor starts pacing around, talking fast. The transmitter. The consciousness is controlling all the plastic, so it needs a transmitter to boost the signal. What's it look like? Like a transmitter, big, round, right in the middle of London, a huge circular metal thing like a dish, a wheel, radial, and it's so close to where we're standing. It must be completely invisible. What? Rose looks at the doctor like he's missed something obvious. She motions behind him. She's trying to get him to see the Ferris wheel that's behind him, but the doctor looks around and then turns back to her confused. What? She keeps motioning. He keeps turning around again. What? What is it? What? Oh. It finally clicks into place and the doctor's face lights up with excitement. Oh, yes, you are a genius. The two of them take off holding hands as they run across the bridge. And as they get closer to the Ferris wheel, they slow down, scanning the area. Imagine it, plastic all over the world, every artificial thing wanting to come alive. The shop window dummies, phones, wires, cables. The breast implants? Yes, those two. We've found the transmitter. The consciousness must be somewhere underneath. Rose peeks over the edge and spots a manhole at the bottom of some steps. What about that? The doctor nods, impressed. They both race down the steps into the manhole, and inside it's bathed with red light as they make their way down a short ladder into a brick-lined room filled with James. They push through a door and continue down another flight of stairs into a multi-level chamber. The Nestine consciousness, that's it, inside the vat, a living plastic creature. Well then, tip in your anti-plastic and let's go. I'm not here to kill it, I've got to give it a chance. He walks over to a pipe overlooking the vat of what looks like molten lava and starts speaking to it. I seek an audience with the Nestine consciousness under peaceful contract according to the Convention 15 of the Shadow Proclamation. The lava-like substance in the vat shifts. Thank you. May I approach? Meanwhile, Rose spots someone on the lower level, and to her relief, it's Mickey. That thing down there, the liquid, it can talk, Rose. Doctor, they kept him alive. Yeah, that was always a possibility. Keep him alive to maintain the copy. You knew that and never said? Can we keep the drama to a minimum, please, Rose? Am I addressing the consciousness? Thanks. Now, if I may observe, you infiltrated this civilization with warp shunt technology, so with all due respect, shunt off. A face forms in the vat. Oh, don't give me that. This is an invasion, plain and simple. No talk about rights. This planet's just getting started. These little humans, they've only begun to walk, but they can do so much more. I'm asking you for them. Please just go. But of course, reasoning with plastic was never really going to work. The two shop dummies that were downstairs grab him and they take out the anti-plastic that was in his pocket. That was just insurance. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to attack you. I'm not your enemy. I swear I'm not. What do you mean? A door slides open, revealing the TARDIS. No, seriously? Yes, that's my ship, but that's not what happened. I was there. I fought in the war. It wasn't my fault. I couldn't save your world. I couldn't save any of them. He turns to Rose. It's the TARDIS. The Nistanes identified its superior tech, and it's terrified. It's going to the final phase, starting the invasion. Rose, go, get out now. The vat starts roaring as Rose, still shaken, makes a phone call to her mom. Jackie's voice comes through, calm but distracted. Oh, there you are. I was just about to call. You can get compensation for that thing. Got the paperwork from the police. Don't thank me. Mom, where are you? I'm in town. No, Mom, go home right now. Just go home. Darling, you're breaking up. Listen, I'm just gonna do a bit of late night shopping. I'll see you later. Ta-ra! The call ends and Jackie heads into the Queen's arcade. The Nistine consciousness starts firing massive energy bolts around and Rose watches, convinced that this is the end of the world. At Queen's arcade, Clive is shopping with his wife when the dummies begin to move. The crowd stops and watches in confusion and everything seems peaceful until one of the dummies breaks through a display and starts walking towards Clive. It's true. Everything I've read, all the stories, it's all true. Those are his last words. One of the dummy lifts its arms and its fingers drop up, firing at Clive. Chaos erupts. People are running everywhere. Meanwhile, underground, the doctor is trying to convince Rose to leave. One of the dummies tries to push him into the vat and Rose and Mickey rush to the TARDIS, but Rose doesn't have the key to open it. Above ground, Jackie realizes that it's far too dangerous to stay inside Queen's arcade and decides to leave, but outside it's just as dangerous. The dummies shoot a passing taxi driver as Jackie hides behind a crashed vehicle. Then 3 bridal dummies smash their way out of the shop behind her. Underground, Rose looks at the doctor while Mickey tries to convince her to just leave the strange man behind. But there's something about the doctor's gaze that makes it really hard for her to walk away. I've got no A-levels, no job, no future. She grabs an axe. But I've got something. Jerry Chio Street Junior School, under 7's gymnastics team. I've got the bronze. She swings the axe, cutting through a rope that's holding a long chain to the wall. She grabs it and runs, swinging across the catwalk. She kicks the 2 dummies into the vat. The second one drops the vial of anti-plastic into the vat too. The golden Nistine consciousness screams as it starts turning blue. The doctor grabs Rose as she springs back, explosions starting to go off, and the shop dummies stagger and fall. The doctor and Rose run for the TARDIS where Mickey's holding on for dear life. They all rush inside. The TARDIS dematerializes and then reappears on ground level. Mickey runs out terrified. Meanwhile, Jackie picks up her phone. Rose, don't go anywhere. It's not safe. There were these things. They were shooting. Hello? Rose runs over to Mickey, who's hunched over on the ground. The doctor stays in the doorway of the TARDIS and Rose teases him. A fat lot of good you were. Nistine consciousness? Easy. You were useless in there, Doctor. You'd be dead if it wasn't for me. Yeah, I would. Thanks, Rose. Right then, I'm off, unless, you want to come with me. This box isn't just a London shuttle, it can go anywhere in the universe, no charge. Don't! He's an alien, he's a freak, Rose! He's not invited, but what do you think? You could stay here, fill your life with work, food, and sleep, or you could go anywhere, Rose. Is it always going to be this dangerous? Yep. Yeah, I can't. I've got to go find my mom and someone's got to look after this idiot. So, okay, see you around then. The doctor heads back into the TARDIS and after a burst of wind and a whoosh and a wash, the TARDIS dematerializes. Rose helps Mickey up and they start walking away when the TARDIS rematerializes. The doctor pops out again. By the way, did I mention that it also travels in time? Rose grins brightly and then looks over at Mickey. Thanks for what? Exactly. She plants a quick kiss on Mickey's cheek before dashing towards the TARDIS, ready for her next adventure. And that's a wrap on episode 1. I seriously can't get enough of this show. Even though it's a bit older, I think it holds up so well and it's still such a fun watch. The Doctor is just like a total goofball, and I love how it comes through on screen. Now, I'm planning on covering more episodes, so I'm going to spoil a little bit about the premise of the show. It's about this alien called the Doctor. He doesn't actually have a name, so whenever someone meets him, they always ask Doctor What or Doctor Who. Anyway, the Doctor is a Time Lord, which means that he can travel through time and space in his little ship called the TARDIS. The coolest thing about him, though, is that he can't really die, so whenever he's put in some situation where a normal person would be done for, he just regenerates. That means a whole new body and a whole new personality. So it gives rise to a different actor each time, which I think is a brilliant way of keeping a show going for a really long time. He usually also has a companion, often a human, who tags along with him on these crazy adventures. And I'm gonna be honest, some companions are just way more fun than others. So yeah, that's the general vibe of the show. Honestly, the episodes are so interesting. I've fallen a bit behind and haven't been watching for like the past 3 Doctors, but I'm thinking about diving back in. I'd love to know what you think about the show or even just about this episode, so do let me know. That is all for today, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!